Yeah, there are a number of things. The record labels for a long time were very resistant to suing individual file sharers, people that use peer-to-peer systems to copy music off the internet. Um, but within the last couple of years, they have begun to sue individuals, and a number of courts. One court has recently held directly. Other courts have suggested that trading files over the internet is an infringement of copyright. The record labels have also sued the providers of software that is used to trade files over the net. They successfully have sued Napster and Grokster, for example. And then thirdly, this hasn't really taken full force yet, but the industry is planning to the extent possible, to encrypt music with digital encryption to make it much more difficult for people to copy. So that's the industry, what the steps the industry has taken. I, along with many other observers, are skeptical about whether or not any of those steps will really be effective. So far, at least, despite several thousand lawsuits against individuals and successful actions against suppliers of software that individuals use to trade files, all the indications are that, at least worldwide, unlicensed file sharing not only continues unabated, but continues to grow steadily. So I think it's very difficult to stop unlicensed peer-to-peer file trading. And my impression is that this is true with the movie industry as well as the music industry, that their primary hope is just to try to keep unlicensed file sharing within sort of acceptable numbers, and at the same time to develop some kind of licensed downloading, such as through iTunes, to at least establish some market for that. But as observers know, at least at this point in time, February 2006, that whole area is very much in flux, and there are a lot of uncertainties involved in this whole area of peer-to-peer file sharing. My thought is that there are no good solutions to peer-to-peer file trading. Let me just qualify that. When I say there are no good solutions, I am one also of many observers who believe that, except for the fact that musicians aren't paid and copyright owners are not paid by unlicensed peer-to-peer file trading, the technology and the practice is a very good one. It's a very efficient way for people to get access to music. And people get access to music that is not commercially available. Even the best of the licensed sites, such as iTunes, even the labels can only clear the rights to a fraction of the music that's available, so there's much more music available on peer-to-peer. There are very, very creative mashups and remixes that people release through peer-to-peer that would not otherwise be available. In other areas aside from music, there's now a whole new art form called machinima, which is people using video game platforms to create animated short motion pictures, which are being released through peer-to-peer file trading. So I think as a principle, this decentralized mechanism for distributing cultural works and creative works is really very good for culture, and ultimately very good for artists who want to get their work out there. So I think it's, from a public policy standpoint, and the point that ultimately I think serves most musicians, we want to try to find some way for musicians to get paid, and get paid in line with what is the consumer demand for their works, but still allow there to be peer-to-peer file trading. So I think the best way to do that is through borrowing from the Audio Home Recording Act and imposing a levy on the services and products that people use to trade files. Because after all, the value of those products and services are really enhanced by the fact that people can use them for trading music. People will have more of a demand for computers and more of a demand for MP3 players, more of a demand for iPods, because they're able to put a lot of free music on those iPods.